I hope you all keep well, stay safe, because it is an unprecedented situation in the country. People will have to take adequate care to fight this menace of corona. And journalists, in a way, are frontline workers in order to help people. So you must keep well. I give my good wishes, my party's good wishes to all of you. Yeah. Friends, definitely the development in Afghanistan has become a subject matter which is being debated, discussed across the world, including the United Nations Security Council. Definitely, I'm going to say a few things about Afghan development. Before that, I would like to talk on certain national issues which are of great importance. Parliament had its monsoon session, but it was complete washout. But the government tried to pass as many as bills in debate, in din, without proper debate, without proper discussion. It is not good for our democracy, our parliament. Even the monsoon session was adjourned sine die in advance before the scheduled adjournment. Here, what I would like to point out, ever since BJP came to power, the parliament is undermined, parliament is bypassed, parliament is weakened. After all, parliament is the supreme institution in our democracy. Parliament represents the will of the people. Dr. Ambedkar emphasized that parliament should remain vibrant in a country like ours. But Mr. Modi and his government are trying and are doing. Why trying? They are doing to make parliament redundant. I use the word very consciously. They are making the parliament redundant. If parliament becomes redundant in country like ours, what will remain? What will happen to our constitution? What will happen to our democratic polity? This must be a concern for all political parties, a concern for all well-meaning citizens of this country. And this is one thing which we need to understand. In parliament, the opposition parties raised very genuine issues of national importance, national concern. They wanted a thorough discussion on Pegasus. Now it is before the court. The Supreme Court has given a notice to center to reply. The next hearing has been scheduled. What is the problem with Pegasus? It is a spyware produced by NOS. This is an Israeli company. And that company has said it has been selling or giving this particular software, which has become a spyware, to governments. They have made it clear. It is being given to governments. Now the simple question is whether Government of India entered into an agreement with the Israeli company or not. It is a simple question. Mr. Modi should give very straightforward, simple answer, yes or no. But Mr. Modi, BJP, they refuse to answer, and now they argue they are baseless. Why Prime Minister didn't attend Parliament and make the same statement? If there are baseless, you tell the Parliament, you tell the political parties which are in Parliament. Mr. Modi did not say that. Even Israel has ordered a probe. France has ordered a probe. What opposition parties demanded in India? There should be a thorough probe. An independent thorough probe monitored by Supreme Court. Some journalist friends have gone to Supreme Court. You know who are they. And now it has been taken up by Supreme Court. The government, Modi government, stands thoroughly exposed because it has been used to snoop on political leaders, advocates, juries, even journalists, and all those people who fight for the people's interest. So this has become a very serious issue, and government has no answer, and government remains so adamant, arrogant, not to accept the demand made by the opposition parties. That is the major reason for Parliament not functioning this time. Parliament got disrupted not by opposition parties but by government and ruling party, treasury benches. We should understand they have no respect for Parliament and democracy. Then opposition parties demanded we should discuss the 3 agricultural laws which have become contentious laws. Farmers are demanding they should be withdrawn, repealed. Government is not agreeing. The 3 agricultural laws are supposed to be considered to be laws against the farmer's interest, against the country's interest. But Mr. Modi, on his Independence Day, on his Independence Day speech, mentioned that his government is very much worried about small farmers. His government is very much keen to modernize the agriculture. All these things he said, and he also said, as opposition demands, these are not black laws, they are good laws. Then why Prime Minister was not ready for a debate in Parliament? But on behalf of our party, Communist Party of India, I must make it clear, we are opposing these three agricultural laws and we are supporting the farmers' agitation. Now that agitation is going on for more than 9 months. Farmers are camping around the national city. They are agitating. Why we oppose these laws? These laws are meant to corporatize our agriculture, to hand over our agriculture to corporate houses. If these laws are implemented, our farmers will lose their land. They will look forward to the mercy of corporate houses for their livelihood. When I say farmers, I include the agricultural workers also. So Modi's concern is not the farmers, but the corporate houses. Agriculture should be handed over to corporate, big business houses. That is what he means modernization of agriculture. Modernization means hand over everything to corporate houses. Last Independence Day speech, he asked the country's people to respect wealth creators. Wealth creators, he meant corporate houses, big business houses. He did not mean workers, farmers, agricultural workers who really create the wealth. For Modi, wealth creators are Ambani's, Adani's, such corporate houses. Now, after making all steps to privatize public sector, after initiating all measures to go for massive disinvestment of public sector undertakings, now Modi is trying to hand over agriculture to the corporate houses, big business houses. That is why we are opposing these three agricultural laws. But Mr. Modi was not prepared to discuss in Parliament. He was not ready for a Parliament debate. Then there are other issues. That is, suddenly Mr. Modi announced August 14, Remembrance Day. August 14, people should know. No, August 14, the country won the independence. And midnight, it was Jawaharlal Nehru who made that historic speech, Tryst with Destiny. But at that point of time, Mahatma Gandhi was not in Delhi. He was in Navakali, Bengal. He was walking in the midst of dead bodies, both Muslims and Hindus. Mahatma Gandhi was struggling to maintain peace and tranquility among different sections of our people, different communities. He was in Navakali. But I must ask, what was RSS doing? What was RSS doing? Or Vishwa Hindu Parishad doing? Hindu Mahasabha doing? They were instrumental to instigate the communal violence. Partisan has brought tragedies. Tragedy to India, tragedy to Bangladesh. That time it was East Pakistan. Tragedy to Pakistan. So it was tragedy. But why Mr. Modi is digging up the wound the country suffered in the past? It is nothing but to vitiate the situation, creating communal tension in the country. That's why we criticized Mr. Modi's announcement. After all said and done, independence day is a day of celebration, day of joy. Our people fought against British and won the independence. It was not given on platter to people of India. We must understand this. That's why Mr. Modi's this announcement we condemned, and we think it is a conspiracy to create some kind of communal situation. But people of India are matured enough. People of India know what Mr. Modi government is doing. And there are attempts to undermine democratic rights. This sedition law, now it has become a debate whether to have sedition law or not. I must tell you, our party has been consistently fighting against sedition law. During British period, we suffered because of this sedition law. Mahatma Gandhi and all freedom fighters suffered, but communists, countless number of communists were slapped with sedition charges, conspiracy charges. We know what is sedition law. So our party consistently fighting against this sedition law. In fact, 2011, on behalf of my party, in Parliament, I moved a private member bill demanding that Article 124A of the Indian Penal Code should be deleted. Now everyone is speaking about 124A of Penal Code, sedition law. Even Law Commission made a reference to my private member bill. Why that sedition law should continue in India? We are a nation. We believe in democracy. We believe in Constitution. Constitution gives rights to our citizens, freedom of speech, freedom to express dissent. I emphasize that word. Freedom to express dissent. Expressing dissent is part of our democracy. If somebody questions the government, criticizes its policy, then they are being dubbed as anti-nationals and unpatriotic. What is happening in India? The RSS BJP combined has been implementing their own agenda of fascist dictatorial rule, and they want to impose an illiberal, monolithic socio-political order on the people. That's why we strongly condemn the Modi government to continuing this sedition law. This sedition law should go. It should not remain. Enough is enough. And during the recent past, not only Stan Swami, several Stan Swami passed away, as Rohit Vemula death in Hyderabad. Stan Swami's death also was treated as institutional murder. All well-meaning people condemned it. It was an institutional murder. And now many activists still are languishing in prison, facing sedition charges. And they don't get bail or parole. In Hyderabad, I must, I am coming to that. Hyderabad, I must tell you, that great poet Varavara Rao, he is also old and sick. He is not getting any parole or bail. And you must know Dr. Sai Baba, G.N. Sai Baba, 90%, more than 90% disabled. He was a professor in Delhi University. He was terminated. Now he is in Nagpur prison, central jail. But he is not given parole or any bail. And his family is in Hyderabad. Even for his mother's death, he could not get bail or parole. This is what I am saying. This is nothing but a fascist dictatorial regime. And we have to fight in defense of our constitution, in defense of our democracy, and we will have to fight against the government for continuing or slapping the sedition charges on our people. That's why we demand, our party demands, this 124A of the Indian Penal Code should go. In fact, United Nations had a resolution, General Assembly, on torture and custodial deaths. India is a signatory, but India is yet to ratify that UN resolution. If at all India has to ratify, India has to, delete Article 124 of Indian Penal Code. That is where the matter stands. So, in the country, we are facing lot of issues, and our economy is in shambles. Economy is in shambles. We should understand. Modi talks about 25 years target. Modi talks about digital India. What is digital India? What is happening in the country? Economy is in shambles. Unemployment is galloping. There is devastation of livelihood of the people. Modi government doesn't bother. Modi government is worried only about the profit, super profit made by big business houses and corporate houses. And Modi thinks by demagogy, by rhetorics, he can hoodwink people, deceive people. In Hyderabad, you must know, Modi, firstly he gave the slogan, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Later on, he added one more word, Vishwas. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. Now, during the independence speech, he added one more word, that prayas. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka prayas. This is what we say, it is demagogy, it is rhetoric, and Modi thinks our people are not politically matured, they are not intelligent, he can deceive our people by making such rhetoric and demagogical speech. So this is where we condemn this present regime is not bothered about country and its people. This government will have to go. Modi government will have to go. That is why our party, along with other left democratic secular parties, we have been demanding that all secular democratic parties must come together, fight in order to save the nation, in order to save the constitution, in order to save the democracy. If that is so, the immediate task is we must concentrate all our efforts how to remove Modi government, BJP-led government. So today the situation demands all secular democratic parties must come together and work together in order to remove Mr. Modi, the BJP from power, and in order to fight the BJP RSS combined, which has become disastrous for the country and the people. So friends, now I would like to say certain things on Afghanistan. because Afghanistan is very close to our country. We have historical connections with Afghanistan, Kabul. You all should know our history. And Afghanistan history had certain very difficult developments. In fact, I wanted to tell you, Afghanistan, there was one ruler. You must know, people of Hyderabad, Telangana should know. He is Muhammad Najibullah Ahmad. But Ahmadji, in fact, Muhammad Najibullah Ahmadji, but popularly is known as Najibullah, Dr. Najib. That is how he called. He was leader of People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan. And he became head of the government, that is Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. From 1986 to 1992, he was the head of the government of Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. He was tortured. He was